microphone. All right, is that better?
Well, I don't hear anything yet. Say something.
All right, well, all right, you guys, things are really
Oh, there
goofed
you
up
go.
here.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll close out that other one later. That should be okay, right? Well, now she doesn't answer me. Okay, well, never mind. Oh, so I broke everything like a minute before I was going to go live. So everything was broken, but I think I got it now. Oh my God, what a day, what a day. And I think it was Friday I came on and tested it, and everything was fine. Same old port that I always use. Everything was felt good. Now here we are. All right, so now we should be fine. So hi everybody, and thanks for coming. Let me run down the list. Let me see. I said hi to Kat, but you guys didn't hear me, so I'll say it again. Hi Dee Dee, hi Dawn, hi April, hey Bossy Butt, um, April, hi Linda, give Tim a hug. You guys are yelling at me. No sound, no sound. Hi Dorothy, um, hi Joanne. Haven't got the mail today. It's too damn cold to go out and check the mail. I would while you guys were not hearing me, I was whining about the cold. Hi Missy. All right, I think I got everybody. Hi Laverne. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the port in the computer. I really do. So okay, you're saying close out later. Thanks. Hi Belinda. Way to start a stream, girl. Yeah, it was fine the other day, so who knows? I can't worry about it. Anyway, so what's going on? I colored this over the weekend. Dee Dee asked me what I did over the weekend. This is one thing I colored, and yeah. Other than that, and then I did a page in the Scavvy that was a disaster. Oh my God. I thought it was just going to be so easy, so fast. Because I did the ombre page and did some song lyrics, and then I was just going to add texture with that wax, that really good smelling wax. I had this stuff everywhere, you guys. It was everywhere. I'm not kidding. And it smells good. But on this one, I got to use like 5 prompts. Let me tell you what all I used because I was pretty damn impressed with my bad self. You like this sign? Yeah. Heavy size and eye rolls. All right, let's see. It has number 9 is a cartoon character. These are the Archies. And I actually drew that. That's one of my Inktober's. So I just photocopied one of my Inktober's. And you can see the red in her hair. That's that stuff that was everywhere. On my hands, on my face. Hi, Sharon. Yeah. So cartoon character, Archie. Number 13 is a napkin. The music is a napkin that somebody sent me, but I don't remember who. So I'm sorry if you sent it to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I used it. 19 is ombre. And then after I did it on that one, because I looked all over for the one that I had chosen, then here in the back of my book is the ombre page I intended to use. So there goes that. And then, in case you're wondering how good my life's going right now, 35 is lyrics from a song, which is Sugar Sugar by the Archies. And what else? 39. Texture, which was like a late addition. And boy, was I sorry I did that. So today I hope to have better luck. But it's done, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And I think that's all I've really done in here. Yeah, I showed you guys the narwhal page. Oh, I just did the veggie page because I'd been saving up all this veggie stuff, and somebody sent me the magazine pictures of the fruits and vegetables. So I just used that and slapped all my veggie stickers on, and that is pretty much all I've gotten done. And I'm obviously not going to finish the Scavvy, but there's no rule that says I have to, and there's no rule that says you have to by the deadline. But as of right now, you've got about 2 weeks to get it finished. So, yeah, if you want to be in the giveaway, get it done and let me know in the next 2 weeks so I can include you. Okay? Thanks, Dee Dee. Thumbs up, everyone. I deserve them because I'm a disaster over here. What else did I have to show you guys? And then the only other thing was Friday when I was streaming, I got a box of um, stuff from Amazon and I got a new mat. And I'm not sure that I love it yet, but we're going to give it a try for a couple weeks. I need to just go back to the Ranger mat. That's what I need to do. But Kat, this is a fun, snarky color book that I have. So yeah, fluent and eye rolls and heavy size. And then just kind of as a whim, I'm not sure what I was shopping for, but I saw this cut and collage humor quotes. And what sold me was I think it's an ostrich on the cover. I just thought she was funny. So I thought, well, I'm going to see. Hi, Christina. What it's about. It's definitely not a Dee Dee book for sure because she's too nice. Now, this page did remind me of Dee Dee because it's all about books. Bookish bliss, lost in a good book. So, and if I was Dee Dee, I would use some of these and make her a collage, but she would laugh at my collage. So, yeah, and there's the ostrich. Don't take advice from me. You'll only end up drunk. So let me pull out so you can actually see the pages as I flip them. But there's some cute stuff in here. But I thought, well, occasionally I want a funny picture of a person or that was a big old fail. Okay, you guys, this is not looking promising today. I wake up every day with a good attitude and then idiots happen. That's me. So yeah, they're just funny, snarky, humorous stickers. Pretty typical. So if you like stuff like this, yeah, damn it. Possum Day. Feed me and tell me I'm pretty. Don't worry, be Cappy. Not in a good mood. Messy hair, don't care. Men, optional. So yeah, just funny little things. I do a thing called What I Want. I could make Joanne, that's a good idea, actually. Okay, View saying, this book has my name all over it. Yeah, see, that's how I felt when I saw it. I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could find something in there that I could use and enjoy. And some of them are really kind of nice, View. Are you sure you want to waste your money on something that nice? Vibing and thriving. Reminiscing the 80s with a cassette tape. Some of us really are that old. You used a pencil to tighten the tape up. Life statistics. Currently holding it all together with a single bobby pin. That's how I feel right this minute. Wish I could just drop my body off at the gym and have them call me when it's ready to be picked up. That's what I am. I found the key to happiness. Stay away from idiots. I miss Terry Brett, which reminds me, Terry messaged me last night, and her internet provider came to install her internet, and turns out that either her or Christy, I'm not sure which one, have one of those LifeLock necklaces or something, and the internet people were afraid that that would interfere with signal throughout the building or some damn thing, so they didn't put it in. And the manager was telling them, no, it's fine, it won't mess with anything. But the guy who was there wouldn't hook it up. So now Christy's having to look for another internet provider because she said this is getting ridiculous. And I agree. And I offered to call them for her, because when I start using my dirty words, they're pretty darn effective. I'm about ready to call mine and tell him if I don't have TV again one more day, I'm going to start deducting days. Yeah, I feel sorry for Terry, and she said to tell you guys she misses us. And yeah, but Kat's been good enough to send her all the prompts and stuff like that. And I talk to her at least every day. So she knows we're thinking about her. And then another thing, I was talking to Dee Dee in between her stream and now, and she told me she had gotten a message from Raul. And I want to ask any of you who believe in prayer and the power of prayer, please include Raul and his wife, Gundren. He's been at that health resort, and apparently he got some pretty tragic health news that could be terminal. So please pray for Raul. I was just so sad to hear it. But I do believe in the power of prayer, and I believe the more people who pray, the more powerful it is, and I also believe in miracles. So yeah, keep Raul in your prayers. He's a good fib. He's done the streamathon the last few years, and he's been so good at it, and he's just become such a part of our group that, yeah, I mean, we're his friends, you know. So yeah, it's devastating. It's so sad. So yeah, I will just be praying very hard for Raul and his wife, because it's hard for her too, you know. So I appreciate you guys. And if you're offended by my asking that, then what I would say to you is this probably is not the place for you. Just saying. And I don't mean to scare anybody off. I'm just saying that if the fact that I asked for prayer is offensive to you, you and I don't have much in common. So, yeah, it's scary, Dorothy, but, you know, we can only do what we can do. And the one thing I know we can do is say a prayer. So take a minute. God hears you. Yeah. And after he does hear you, thank him. Don't be greedy. So anyway, as I'm in the middle of my snark, I have to dump bad news on you, but it just popped in my brain right then. So, yeah. Anyway, bad girl. I'll send that one to Dorothy. No more drama. So, yeah, View, there are some kind of nice things in here, so just ignore those and go on with your snarky self. And I love this one. I didn't know it was in there when I bought it, but I love a good sloth. Look at Slothy. I need coffee. But I love sloths. They grow mold, though. I don't like that about them. But, yeah, I love that there was a whole page of sloth. Ugh. Positive thoughts. Positive welcome. You are enough. Tell yourself that every day. You are enough. Positive mind, positive vibes, positive life. So, yeah, you get a little of each. Yeah, lemurs are good too, Dee Dee, but sloths, there's just something particularly likable about a sloth and how slow they are. So, yeah, so I'll be using these. They'll pop up in my art here and there. And then this particular artist, what was it? I had to look up her name. Lori Joseph. She has a bunch of books, and they all look really cute. So my guess is hers are going to be more cute than, say, Doors and Windows and stuff like that. But, yeah. What, me? You are a good girl. Well, Dorothy, I don't know. I think it depends entirely on who you talk to. I think CB would argue with that. And probably Joan, too. And then I was going to read out of my little book here. And then I'm going to do something that's not very exciting, but I like doing it, so it sucks to be you. I don't know where I left off again. We'll start at because. Because, a word that passes for an explanation as to why children must do as you say. Because I said so. That's mine. Because I said so. Bed, an item of furniture that was originally designed for the simple, restful act of slumber, and one that most young couples actually put to that purpose shortly after marriage. Beer, a beverage about which some rather laughable people believe it is possible to be a connoisseur, despite the fact the main difference between most beers is which one tastes the least like liquid ass. That is so true. That is the most true thing I've ever read. Beer tastes like crap. Beggar, someone reduced to soliciting strangers for charity, or as it is known in some circles, Girl Scouts, belief, an absolute certainty that something is true, can range from one's opinion as to whether there is a God, here we go again, to the firm conviction that space aliens are sending coded messages through your fillings. Hi, Brenda. All right, so that's enough for one day. We'll start at belt next time because it's a long one. I can't read all that. Because that was what I said to the kids. Why? Because I said so. That's all you need to know. I said so. And I'm the boss of everybody. Did I say hi, Laverne? Hi, Ink Pulp. I just got back from retreat where I worked quite a bit on your Scavvy. Cool. Ink Pulp, get it done so I can get you on the list. If you've done that much, you deserve it. I think that was all I had to show. I haven't bought anything. I did get the frame for Arlene's flag and eagle thing. I have not framed it yet, but I'm going to. The ladies were intrigued by the whole thing. Well, Ink Pulp, did you introduce them to me and Dee Dee and all the rest of the fibs that stream and say, you got to go follow these people because they're crazy. And don't let me forget about 2 o'clock, I need to go put my ribs in the oven. And I thought today, because I love my new stencils so much, and I need to get some Scavvy pages done. I really do. I just really have been falling down on the job here, and I don't know why. I just have. I'm going to do a page for Scavvy that includes squares, and I'm going to do them based on a IG person that I follow called Sendoodle, and she makes stones, and I've done it before. Y'all have seen it before, that look like, or squares that look like stones, and then I'm going to put my advice in the middle. Should I tell you the advice before I write it out, or should I write it out first? Oh, let me use my, I wanted to lighten those lines so I don't have to erase so much. Oh, and I saw another crazy thing. I was going to try it. Let's try it on stream. Well, I don't have a pair of pliers, I don't think. Anyway, what I saw was a girl, you get these jelly roll pens and then they crap out on you and none of them work very well. We're going to do something real quick. I'm going to go get a pair of pliers. Tell us so we can make sure you get it right. Oh, God, Dee Dee. Ye of little faith. I know, I'll goof it up every time. But I'm a miracle worker at fixing things. Okay, this girl on Instagram was messing with her jelly pens, or jelly roll pens. And half of the time they crap out on you, right? And I've got this one and it works about 50% of the time. And nothing makes me madder. Of course, now we have the Panda Fly pens, but then Starla Arts put a thing on Instagram yesterday that her Panda Fly leaked all over her art bag. So, and I was like, oh no, I've been praising those things like crazy. A bunch of Zendoodle names. Her name is Send, S-E-N-D, cat, S-E-N-D, Send Doodle. Okay, so she took, ouch. Don't use the cutter part because you'll cut your finger off. Maybe I won't be able to get this out. I should have tried this before I got on stream, huh? I'll try a X-Acto. But anyway, you take this end piece out. Oh, this is going to work. All right. She made it much harder than it has to be. Okay, you take that end piece out. Like that. Woot woot. And I probably should move the art that I want to work on. And then she pressed out a kneaded eraser. Thanks, Kat. She took this, flattened it out, and this one's just about done for, so I don't mind using it for this. And then she took her pen and made like a little plug for it, right? And then I think she put this back in. I'm going to put it back in. Okay. And then, holy crap, and then when you write with it, oh my gosh, you guys, it works. I just saved my white jelly roll. It does make a little bit of blob of ink right at the beginning, but now I'm pissed off that I threw away all my old jelly rolls that were pissing me off. So there you go. You can thank me out later or anytime you want. You're welcome. I've been wanting to try that ever since I saw it. You think you saw Spare Room Studio do that too? Well, there you go. You just saw it in real life. It happened. It worked. Yeah, I know it causes a pressure, and I know a lot of pens have that, and I had never noticed that a jelly roll did not. So, jelly roll, pay attention. You can pay me later too, jelly roll. I don't care. All right, I'm going to lighten up these lines because I want to colorize the back before I do the quote. And I'm just going to draw squares, and you guys can tell me what colors to use for this because I don't care. But I'm going to use alcohol markers. Probably my new Cali Art ones because I love them so much. They have such good colors. All right. Where's my... I can't believe I knocked my computer off right before I went live. Did I say hi, Ellen? All right, let me, I think I'll draw this with ink. Do I want it black? All right, hang on. I'm going to pull you guys down a little bit and tell the camera to focus, you freak. You can tell I'm really going into this with a plan, right? I'm just going to draw random squares. I'll just start at the top so I don't smear the ink. We'll start with some small squares. And I'm using the edge of the paper to keep them somewhat straight. Dee Dee, I was so yelling at you this morning when you were cutting out those frames. It's like, girl, quit being dumb. The Scavvy Hunt colors, no, I think I used them all. All right, so that's Oh, this is the top of the box, so I can go all the way across. God, watch me goof up. And they'll be somewhat straight. It's okay if they're not perfectly straight. it'll make me a nervous wreck, but I already had one nervous breakdown at Dee Dee's this morning. We'll go for a new record. Oh, you goof. We'll call you out, just saying. Whatever. Maybe this will be our last cold weather, and we'll actually get spring, because my daffodils are already bloomed and dead. And Robert said the other day, Robert, he's so funny because he can't think. But anyway, he told me this morning, he said, the squirrels ate all your white flowers out there. He thought the squirrels were eating my daffodils, but it was time for them to die. So, but he was blaming the squirrels. Like, the squirrels aren't doing that. Hang on, I'm checking my messages. Whatever, Tina. And thanks for heads up, Kat. Yeah, Tina's sending me crap messages. So, yeah, I guess I should start getting after the squirrels for eating my flowers. I am going to get after the deer this year if they eat my hostas again. Hi, Kathleen. Okay. Put that away. Put a skinny one in here. And I found some more products that I need to add to my watch book. I was messing with the Derwent art bars the other day. I think they're called art bars. And I thought, I wonder if they make those anymore. Hi, Patty. So I went on an internet search for, does Derwent make art bars anymore? Found out that they discontinued those. So I wonder how long the Daniel Smith art sticks, watercolor sticks will last. And found out that they also discontinued, they used to have long sticks. I'll show them to you. Long watercolor sticks, which these were a great deal for your money. And they're called Aquatone, and they're like ink cans or anything else. You can color them on, add water, and they're water soluble. But you got all these. And while I was reading about the discontinued art bars, I discovered they also discontinued these, and I think I have 2 sets of these. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to hoard them, and then someday somebody on Etsy or something will be looking for them, and I can sell them for an exorbitant price. Do you guys think that's a good plan? They haven't finished your glasses yet, Kat? What the heck? That's been a long time, girl. I do love my new ones. These are, so I'm glad I did make a fuss about it and get new ones, because these I really, really like. I'll just leave that one big. So, yeah, I'm not the least bit unhappy with my glasses. These are perfect. But yeah, yours have been out there for a long time, girl. All right, that's the space that I'm going to be working in. Been about a month. Well, Did you call him? Yeah, do you need me to call him? Because remember my first pair just took forever. They notified me that the first two pair were ready, but the third ones weren't in. And so I waited and waited. And finally I called them back. Oh, yeah, they're here. I'll bet they were there the first time I went in. But anyway, and then this last time, they're supposed to text me, right? Finally, I waited and waited. And finally, I just called and said, are the glasses? Oh, yeah, they're here. So you might just call and check because apparently some of these systems they've got in place don't work so well. Just saying. Okay, let's get out my alcohol ink swatch sheets. I have these in my swatch book, and then I always keep a working swatch card with the product. You called them and they're not done yet. Wow. Are they very complicated? These are the Cali Art colors. And they're far more vibrant than the Ohuhu ones. But I use them interchangeably, like that thing that I showed you. This is some Ohuhu and some Cali Art. I just use all of them together. Keep them separate, but use them together. So, what color do we want the rocks? I've made no selection about color or anything else. Do I want it real colorful or do I want to keep it to a minimum? And I can't remember. I think I've done all the color things in Scavvy. Let's just look. I had a friend call and she got me out of jury duty. Yay, you, Joyce. I'm pretty sure I've used all the color ones. Let's see. I did a page of pink. And if you guys wait for me, I'm just going to do blue because I always do blue or green. I didn't put many colors in here this time. And use a color you dislike. Yeah, I think those are the only colors I put in there. So green. Okay, Laverne's saying green, please. Okay, we can do some green. We've got good, let's see, compared to Ohuhu. Yeah, see, I thought the Ohuhu greens were pretty caca, really. So, but the Cali Art, I think, has some really good greens. And when I choose this to make them look like stone, I need the stone color, and then I need a shade for that same stone. So I think I'm going to do B714. And then the shade will be 723. So let me grab those out first. 714 and 723. That was easy enough. All right, let's test them out and see if we like them. That's pretty. It's more turquoise than green, but that's okay. Yeah, that'll be a good shade color for that. All right. So we got green. Any other bright ideas around here? Now you have to start thinking a color wheel. What goes good with green? Green and yellow are good. Green and blue are good. Let's do Y314, kind of a ochre kind of yellow. Let's do that. 314 and 325. All right, where'd you go? I said 314, right? Yep. And 325. Let's preview that. Good, good, good. Let's do thinking. Since y'all aren't helping me over there, let's do a lighter green. Let's do 303 and 318. I've really gotten where I like alcohol markers. All right. Hi, Butter Roll Boutique. Hey, Tina. Why don't you text me some more and use all the dirty words this time? I was on a shoplifter's case. Judge asked if we would have any bias against her. I stood up and said she should have to pay for her things just like I do. They sent you home, but you weren't wrong, Kat. You were not wrong. Hi, Vanessa. Yeah, I've kind of got a teal or aqua, and I'm going to use the light green with it. And then I'm thinking, I don't know, should I just throw a pink in to really goof with the whole thing? .502 and 403. Hi, Carol. Okay. Is 4 colors enough, or should we do one more? Let's do like a gray or something. I never use grays, but I like gray. 1102 and 1104. There it is. 5 should be enough, don't you think? It'll be kind of muted. Won't be real bright. Oh, that's not very dark. I can get a darker one. Oh, well, I did it backwards. That's the gray, and that's the shade. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I don't know where CB is. She's not on parole anymore, so she doesn't have to call me when she leaves the house. All right, do we really like those colors? Now I got so much pens out here. Did I say hi, Jackie? You seem way muted to me. That's okay. If we don't like them, it's only paper. We'll throw them away and start over. And I forgot to draw the vertical lines. That'll only take a minute. And I have to decide what color I want the background of the quote. And I'll do it first. The pen I'm using is a Uniball eye needle, and the black ink in this is permanent when it's completely dry. So, yeah, so that's why I don't worry. Oh, I've written in chat, can you hear me now? Like I'm doing a freaking Verizon commercial or something. Do you guys use your alcohol markers very much? I love mine. Let's do a skinny little line in here. And I waited forever to buy alcohol markers. I don't know why I was so resistant to them. But now that I got them, I love them. The only thing I don't like about them, and I'll show you on that picture that I had sitting here when I started the show. See right up here? I'd colored in this and then, you know, kept going down a little bit and then came back and colored up next to it, and you get a dark spot, and I don't like that about them. But otherwise, I love how seamless they are until you do something like that. I won't have that problem today, but yeah, just saying. Vanessa likes them. Love your alcohol markers. Okay. Yeah, see, I figured probably most of you did really, really love your alcohol markers, and I'm not sure why I was so darn resistant to them going in. I think I will. It's crooked, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll go ahead and do this. And I like that they will write on virtually anything. You've been using Papermates? Yeah, I've always loved Papermates. In fact, I used to, as a kid, when I would babysit, I used to save my money to buy Papermate pens. I love Papermate pens. Try it again, Dorothy. You're getting closer every time. Always keep a wet edge. But when you're doing a big background like this, it's almost impossible to keep a wet edge. You're going from here to here to here, you know. And I know that that's the answer, but I'm just saying on a big background, man, I don't know how plausible that is. But yeah, I do listen to Dee Dee when she gives out free tips like that because they're always valuable and they're always right. But yeah, I think I'll do the background first, and I think I'm going to use that really light minty green. There you go, Dorothy. You got it. Yeah, Papermates are just good pens, and they've been around forever. What's the one? Do you guys remember? Some of you are about my age. Another thing, well, Dee Dee is magic. Well, there you go, Kat. There's your answer right there. Hi, Sherry. There was a pen, and it was a ballpoint pen, and it had rounded ends, and the cap was rounded. And they were called Lindy's. Do you guys remember Lindy's? Hang on just a second. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm going to be doing a big area. We'll see if I can keep a wet edge. And this is funky paper, so keeping a wet edge. But this paper really, really absorbs that ink. So I'll have to go back and make sure that it gets filled in real good. You say, damn, you color like a dork. Yes, I do. This is not how I color when I'm alone. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way. I'm going to color like I normally color. But you don't get any streak marks or, you know, so that's one thing I just love about alcohol markers. they're just seamless. No streaks, no nothing. Just nice, smooth background. And the way I normally would get this is with a Prismacolor that I dissolved with unscented acetone, or yeah. But I do love me. I should have put a paper underneath here, but it's not going onto the mat, so. I don't even know. I just grabbed this piece of paper. It was laying here. I don't even know what it's from, but it is funky paper. Feels cheap. Yeah, if my hand gets in the way, y'all just have to deal with it. Deal with it. And if it gets streaks, I'll whine about it, because that's what I do. I'm so excited for some warm weather, you guys. I really am. Not that I'm going to do anything different. That's the weird thing, is I don't know why I care, because I'm not going to do anything different. It'll just be warmer when I drive to Walmart to get my pickup order. I might do something outside. Don't hold your breath. Yeah, like, see, that's going to be. I just wanted color back there is all I wanted, so. Hi, Keeks. You're craving a baked potato. Tell you to stay away from the microwave. Why stay away from the microwave? Now I'm playing with fire here, going back in, adding color later, but it's all right. You can kind of tell because it that's gonna, well, I'm not gonna do that. All right, let's go ahead and use the shade just along the edges and try and try not to go outside the lines. But if I do, I'll just use that color for that stone, because I'm sneaky that way. Almost like inking the edges, you know? All right, now I am gonna grab a piece of paper and put underneath it so it doesn't go onto the mat. All right, so tell me what you guys have been up to. Wendy's has baked potatoes. I have not been to Wendy's, I'll bet, in 20 years. No, that's not true, butter roll. That one is, you can buy, let's see, they're water-based markers, but you can buy two-ended colors. These are the same color on both ends. I just usually use my color chart. Let me see if I got the CaliArt one. Yeah. And so I always just choose like a main color. Let's see, 303. I chose the main color and then a color a little bit darker than that for the shading. So yeah, they're not one end. These are a brush and the other end is a fine tip, and they're supposed to be the same color. However, the fine tip end is usually a little bit darker, and I'm not sure why. It was around 80 when tornado went over us last night. Oh my gosh. Oh, Brenda, that's frightening. That sounds like us yesterday afternoon, Brenda. We had snow flurries, and the wind was just so bad. It was just awful. All right, and I'm going to keep the shading colors that I picked separate so I don't accidentally goof up, because I know me, I will goof up for sure. Oops, that's the shading color. Wendy's has cinnamon rolls. See, we don't have a Wendy's around here. Maybe in Tulsa. I don't even think there's one in Joplin. There might be, but I wouldn't know anything about it. Let's see. The fast foods I have access to in Grove are McDonald's, Brahms, Sonic, and Taco Bell. And if you call KFC fast food, and that's it. That's all we got. And we have less than that in the other town near us, which is Veneta, Oklahoma. I think they have a different kind of taco place. Yeah, we don't have much selection around here, you guys. And then if I want Chick-fil-A, I have to go all the way to Joplin. And I don't go to Tulsa anymore. And we just don't have any need. All of our doctors have been moved to Joplin, and so I just don't have a need to go to Tulsa anymore. And boy, I don't miss it. From what people are telling me, Tulsa is turning into a mess. Like tons of homeless and people panhandling. And Tulsa used to be a really nice, clean city, but yeah, I don't know. Sounds like it's changed a lot. My neighbor, she was a realtor in Tulsa for many, many years, and she had to go to Tulsa. She met some friends or something in Tulsa, and she said she was just amazed that there were people living under the underpasses or overpasses on the roads, and that just does not sound like Tulsa. I don't know what the city government is doing, but they're obviously goofing up somehow. And I'm just randomly putting these. I'm not counting spaces. Just random. Wherever they fall is where they fall, and that's fine with me. And if this works out, it'll be awesome, and it'll be in the Scavvy. If it doesn't, it'll go in the trash, and I'll forget we ever did it and go on to something better or different. Breeze coming tomorrow. Weather is stable now. Storms. Hi, Tina from Sweden. 2 my time, Dee Dee. Yeah, here in a little while I'll go turn on the oven and let it start heating up. But yeah, I made, sometimes you guys, I'm just so oblivious most of the time. I got ribs ready yesterday morning and put the dry rub on them, had them all wrapped up in the foil, thought, well, I'll put them in the oven because they need to be in 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. Got busy coloring, doing whatever it is I was doing. I don't even know what I was doing, probably nothing. And about 3 o'clock, it dawned on me, oh, you forgot to put the ribs in, which then it gets so late eating dinner. So I just said, oh, I'll just save them for tomorrow. But yeah, go to all the trouble. But that's okay. We'll have a nice dinner tonight. And last night's dinner wasn't horrible, but it wasn't ribs. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And it wasn't like I'd told the rat to expect ribs. And even if I did, he wouldn't have remembered it. Look at how fast you can get that done. You make the Costco ribs from a box in the deli. They cook in 25 minutes. I like the ones at Sam's Club that are already cooked. I really do like those. But the problem is they're not there every time you go. And I asked the guy, I said, are they a special day, a certain day? And he says, nope, they just send them whenever. And when they're gone, they're gone. We wait until they send them again. So you can never really count on there being ribs. And then I used to buy some at Walmart that were pre-cooked and all you had to do was reheat them. But they put a barbecue sauce. I mean, I liked it okay, but Robert has, well, he doesn't anymore since I started cooking dinner a little bit earlier, but kind of acid reflux. And he would complain. He said, I think that sauce is making me have indigestion. So I thought, well, and I've made them myself for years and years. I just had decided to go the easy way. And then I just decided, you know what? They're so easy. There's no excuse for me not making them from scratch. So now I just make them from scratch and they're easy. They just take a while. You just have to plan ahead, 2.5, 3 hours. But then they're so tender and meat falls off the bone. They're so delicious. I love them so much. I think Barbie was telling me about the Costco ribs too, because I was going to make ribs when they were here. The Costco ones are cooled and sauced. We had roast when Jamie and Jill were here. But when I make a whole rack of ribs, I mean, it makes at least 2 meals for us. So tomorrow I'll be just lazing around because I won't have that much to do. Dinner will be ready. And I'm going to cook some acorn squash with it, which I won't have to put in until after I'm done streaming. So are you guys glad to know what I'm eating? All right, I can always come back in and add more yellow if I want. Let's do gray next. whoever figured out these brush nibs for these alcohol markers, they're brilliant. And they deserve much praise. Because they don't crush anymore. Used to be they were all made of felt, if you remember. And they would crush and they were crappy and nasty. And it's just like, dang, whoever thought of this, you're brilliant. Brilliant, I tell ya. And I'm not doing a pattern to these squares. You had ribs yesterday? We are all bad enablers to one another, I think. Devin's on her way to Wendy's to get a baked potato. I don't know if I told you guys. I don't know if they've done something different to potatoes. But I'm getting where I just don't like potatoes anymore. I rarely fix potatoes for us to eat. And I don't know if it's something, I don't know. But there's a couple things like that. That I used to love it and now I just can't hardly even eat it. I don't know why. If my taste buds are changing, I don't know. Or if it's in the food. After listening to RFK Jr., I hate to think what they've been putting in our food. Yeah, I do a rub too, Brenda, with brown sugar and smoked paprika, garlic, onion, salt, pepper. Yeah, I do a really good rub with it too. And then just tiny bit of barbecue, but I put it on at the very end and then broil it for about 5 minutes and caramelize it. And then it's delicious. But yeah, I do a dry rub too. And the dry rub's been on since yesterday, so yeah, they've had ample time to sit. Time of day when everybody's hungry. It looks like I need a gray up in here somewhere. I can always come back in and add more later. Yeah, brown sugar. Yeah, it's yummy. And I get it real soft and crumbly. I put it in the microwave for a minute. So it gets real soft and real crumbly. Yeah. Then it rubs on really good. Now my mouth's watering. I'm ready for ribs. Is this the right green? How did I get 2 3/18? Oh, you know what? I put the wrong lid on. Yeah, that's the lighter. What a dope I am. That's all right, because I'll put the shading on that side. If you're using two at once, be careful. Don't put the wrong lid, or you're going to freak out. Like I just did. I hope you guys are doing something while I'm doing this. Remind you of an aerial view of a pool. Nowadays, you can't trust anything you see because AI can generate almost anything. This could be an aerial view of a pool. It could be the landscape from a plane. I swear to God, they're freaking me out with some of these AI-generated photographs that I see. Can't believe what you see, can't believe what you hear. It's quite scary to me. But I have to say, I like the little dancing monkeys. Whoever did the dancing monkeys, I vote for you. They make them look so sweet. But yeah, AI is actually quite scary to me right now. I'm thinking we're going to have to come up with a rule where if you're using AI generated art or AI generated writing, whatever, that there should be a disclaimer or something put on it, because they've just gotten so insane. Insanely good, I mean. You doing something good, Dorothy? Everybody should be doing something. I didn't honestly know how long this would take. But I've had this quote in my head forever. Well, it's one of my favorites. I mean, I don't know why, it just cracks me up. I do like this mint green. It's very pretty. All right, I'm going to do this one green because I went outside the lines. Would you guys call this a mosaic too? I just got thinking I could get another Scavvy prompt. Because this is kind of mosaic tile-like, right? Am I cheating if I do that? Probably. See how goofy my brain thinks. And does anybody interpret dreams? Mosaic, yes. Okay. All right. Mosaic. All right. We're going with that then. Make sure I've got the right blue. I don't want to goof up this too. Yeah. Correct blue. It's good. Is this boring as hell for you guys? I'm sure it is. All right, I got permission, so it's going with mosaic too. My special dog had the zoomed yesterday and cleared 4 open topsoil containers, pens, glues. Oh, God. That would bum me out. But no worse than dumping your computer off the table, which I did right before I started streaming. Then my camera didn't work, nothing worked, so yeah. I have to add another color in there. I'm kind of just trying to see how to spread them all out a little bit, you know? The box spacing seems to be working out pretty good. For no plan, right? Because I had 0 plan. I'll have to add something up in there, but that's good. I don't mind. We'll see how all these crazy colors work together. Hi, Angie. Sorry you're not feeling well. That's a bummer. Hi, Rachel. Oh, Linda Berry books? Oh, Rachel, you'll love them. I used to work out of those quite a bit. I love Linda Berry. If you're not familiar with who Linda Berry is, I think she's actually an art teacher. But she makes her students do journals in comp books, and I've shown them 100 times. But yeah, I love me some Linda Berry, and she does one of her characters. She draws herself, and that it's just so good. But you'll learn a lot in her books as well. I'll go get one if you want to see it. Just say so. I'll go get a Linda Berry book. But she has this monkey that she draws that is just so funny. But yeah, if you do her exercises, she does it for an actual class. So, but yeah, she's got a funny sense of humor too. She doesn't take anything too serious, which is good. I don't like to take things too darn serious either. I think life is about having fun, laughing, being a good citizen. Yeah. Where'd you get turned on to Linda Berry books? You want me to show it? Okay. You haven't been well for a month, Angie? Well, I noticed you've been kind of hit and miss at streams, so Angie, I hope you feel better. I hope the doctor can figure something out for you. Let's hope I can find him quickly. Okay, and I'm not sure in what order they were released. This is a nice little break, huh? I've got 4 of her books, and I'm not sure really how many she has. This might be all of them. But yeah, I went through a total Linda Berry phase, and I still to this day love, love, love her. And she shows her students' work. So, if you look in here, I swear to God, this is one of the books probably I would recommend for anybody who feels self-conscious about their journal pages or whether or not they can draw. But she talks about talent, who has it, how old do you have to be to make a bad drawing. Let me move my thing so I don't knock it off. But just look at the backgrounds, how colorful, just making random circles and yeah, I'm not going to flip every page, but yeah, I mean, you look at this and you think, how the heck did she get published? It's got really, really good information in it. And I think it's in one of her books, in one of these comp books, where she shows like before and after. And you can see how her students actually got better. And she gives you prompts like here's situation bag. elements that make a story start to happen, like in a hurry, avoiding someone, need cash, broke something, bad neighbor. And she might have you writing a story on this one, who knows. But if you read this and do the prompts and stuff, you will have fun, you'll grow confident, and you'll get more proficient at whatever it is you want to get more proficient at, whether it's writing, whether it's drawing, comparing your art to theirs, and you just go, damn, I'm good. So this is the Linda Berry style of art. And I think one of the things that makes you feel better about doing it is she makes them always work in a comp book, so nothing feels too precious, you know. This would be like where did it go? That would be a self-portrait of her. Some are better than others. Now this makes me want to go back through and read the Linda Berry books again, Dee Dee. And she has you create characters, develop characters, draw characters, write a story about a character. It's just so good. And it's fun to force yourself to draw what you would consider badly, like recreate this. And my perfectionist self is going to want to fix this. It's going to make it look pretty and in proportion. But the trick is, make yourself draw what you see. That's not something that your brain already has a preconceived idea of. And that's another thing about drawing, is sometimes it's good to draw something upside down and trick your brain, because your brain has preconceived ideas of, for example, what a chair looks like. But when you draw it upside down, all of a sudden your brain really has to struggle with, well, how close is that arm to the seat? Or, you know, you really have to look at what you're drawing and draw what you see. And you can do this and not feel any pressure at all. Now I'm going to leave these out and I'm going to look at them again. Tandem drawing. In this exercise, one of you draws one side of a figure and the other follows along, drawing the figure with you as you go. These drawings should be done at a slower pace. Staying in sync is important. So that would be fun too. Have to draw half of a side of a face, half of an arm, you know, like that would be fun. This is a flexible exercise that can be revisited anytime you need to loosen up. Try different methods, switch leaders, switch sides, switch partners. Use your own dominant hand, copy without looking at your paper, switch leaders. So, and she gets you so out of your comfort zone. And then it becomes very hard to judge your own work, because you're drawing something that you have almost no control over. It's almost like writing with your non-dominant hand. You have to just be able to read it. That's the best you can hope for, because it's not going to be good. Here's draw your breakfast, I think. I don't remember. It's been so long now. Yeah, that's like eggs, bacon, coffee. Close your eyes. Draw your breakfast. Those are good exercises if you want to learn how to draw. And she's all about drawing for the most part, but she does make you write stories. And she does give you lots of exercises to keep you busy. I think that was another self-portrait. Her self-portraits, that's kind of a self-portrait. You can always tell by the glasses, the hair, and whether or not she's smoking. And I have no idea where she teaches or if you could ever take a Linda Berry class. But yeah, that's making comics. And then she's got another comp book one called Syllabus. Now, this is the one I think I got the most out of. The Syllabus book. And it might have been the first one I ever got. But it's Notes from an Accidental Professor. The Unthinkable Mind. What is it? Write what you see. Making comics. And look, she writes her name half normal and then half upside down. And then the class prompts upside down. And that's what I was talking about, drawing something upside down. Is creative concentration contagious? So yeah, you can just see notes and observations. But if you do this, I promise you, you will definitely think about drawing differently. You'll think about your own drawing differently. You'll quit judging it quite so harshly. Yeah, I remember that. Devin, Lena did a fun Linda Berry style series. Yep. And I don't know, let me see if it has a date. Oh, she's my age. We were born the same year. Okay, the first paperback edition was September 2014. So, yeah, 11 years ago. I'll just flip quickly through this one. But it's very colorful. Look, she has you paste stuff in there. And I do remember doing an exercise where I had to paste something down and then draw something around it. Bye, Angie. Good luck tomorrow at the doctor. But yeah, if you want to get better or just have something fun to do, these are fun. And get yourself a comp book. Fun books to read. I'm going to go through all of them again. I forget how much fun they are. I forget to go back in my old books a lot. Look at, that's her as a Yeti. That's something we should all do. Draw ourselves as a Yeti. Crayons. From least to most used. 24 crayons after 3 pictures. The assignment: to color 3 pictures using as much crayon as possible to cover the paper completely so none of it shows through. Getting solid color takes work. The crayons break easily, the wax won't lay on the paper evenly, and your fingers, hand, and arm get sore. Crayons are a drag, man. Why use them? Hate crayon! Kind of takes you back to your childhood, right? Medulla oblongata, limbic system, hippocampus. This is your whole brain on crayons. Spinal cord, thalamus, amygdala. Ah. Now see, I've done this where you actually have to draw candy wrappers or something like that, you know. And if you draw something stupid like that, it takes all the pressure off, because are you really going to show that to people? I do, because it's Inktober, and I just feel like Inktober, you don't have to do everything perfect. But you'll be surprised. That's another self-portrait. Yeah, and I don't know if these are the students doing a self-portrait. That's a good exercise, though. But, you know, it's just like anything else you do. You'll get better at it if you do it. Sit down on your butt and do it. That is another self-portrait of her, the monkey. That cracks me up. So whoever came in talking about Linda Berry, thank you, because now I'm going to go back through these. And then the next 2 books, she didn't do comp book style. They're the nearsighted monkey book. Learn how to art with the nearsighted monkey. Look at. It's crazy art, but honestly, if you want to get better, try and recreate some of these. Draw that fish, draw that cat. Get a beast and just draw something every day. And I think that was when she was drawing herself as a kid. Another cool thing in these books is the borders that she created for all of them. When you're a guest, you should not leave banana peels on the windowsills. Your host wants peels in the trash. And you must not say, I will talk about banana peels at a later hour. My show is on. That's a timely reminder. There's Lena. I did. It was fun. Then last year I worked with Making Comic Book following tutorial using a political twist. I think people got upset, but it was a fun project. I did watch that, Lena. But yeah, Linda Berry. This isn't as much of an instruction book as the comp books, but the art is fun. It's whimsical. I promise you, if you just play with it long enough, you'll start feeling better. Ooh, there's an alphabet that turns into chickens. Conspiracy chicken lettering. I need to remember that. Mood doodles. Yep, I'm going to go back through these. Look at, there she is again. Such fun. Sometimes it's good to go back. Here, she turned herself into a paper doll. Cool stuff. So there you go. You got a quick flip, and there's one more hardback, and I'll show it. But if you like this style, definitely money, in my opinion, well spent. You will learn something, and you'll enjoy it, and you'll have it forever. This one's What It Is. What It Be. The formless thing which gives things form. So you can kind of see how you're going to learn. I should, Dee Dee. All right, I'll write it down. A monkey paper doll. And it will go in my new monkey journal because I've been collecting up stuff for my new monkey journal. Because you guys are so kind and generous, and you always send me monkey stuff. And it's always like, oh, I got to have a special place for that. I got to have a special place for that. So finally, the other day when I was cleaning up and throwing away and everything, and I came across all these monkeys, I was like, that is it. That's it. I'm doing the monkey journal. I haven't started it yet, but I have been collecting for it. And again, you look in here and you think, oh, it's just a bunch of nonsensical drawings. But it's really not. Like, could you draw that alphabet like that? I can't. That's why I draw by stencils, lettering stencils. Monkeys. Monkeys are really everywhere you look. I don't know if you know that, but they are. And I'm not sure what she has you do with this word list, but all of her books have a lot of direction and projects for you to work on. And there's always a reason she has you do whatever she's asking you to do, whether it's creating a comic strip or just getting your basic skills better, making you think. Some people need to think, believe me. Think more than they do, for damn sure. I think this was a comic strip, if I remember right. Boy, it's been a long time. And I don't know when this book came out either. But you don't have to buy them all at once either. Buy them one at a time, work through them, and then decide, do I want to do the next one? But this style is, even though I would have a difficult time doing it because I have that whole, it's got to be straight. It's got to be, you know, there's something so appealing about it. I think it would be harder to do something like this than like draw perfect whatever. Look at, there's the Peanuts characters, so I don't even know what that is about. In junior high, started drawing once again. I found out I could copy other people's art, and I was actually decent at it. And I'm thankful for this because I was by then completely unable to draw anything on my own that I could stand, and I especially like to copy comics. Well, I think that's all kind of how we start and how we do get better and how we kind of grade ourselves and say, that one's pretty good. This one sucks. You know, like you just do it, grade yourself. And if you don't like it, it's still paper. Throw it in the trash and go on. Try it again tomorrow. Why not? So whoever came in saying they were into Linda Berry, thanks. Thanks a lot. You saw Natasha and Boris? Yeah. You probably likely see anything in there, to be honest. Back to my very complicated artwork over here. You don't believe your eyes? It's snowing? Oh, I know. That's how I felt yesterday. It'd been like 70 degrees earlier, and now all of a sudden the wind's blowing 1,000 miles an hour and it's snowing. None of it stuck, though. I mean, but still. It's like, come on. I've already got daffodils bloomed and gone. Time for spring. Let the little animals start enjoying life again. Let them eat my daffodils like Robert told me they were doing. I will darken the lines between the squares. Oh, I'll pull you guys down closer. No. Yeah, I will thicken those lines, but I probably will do it without a ruler, believe it or not, so it looks more organic. But this satisfies my brain. You guys don't probably even understand. I think that's why I'm enjoying watching Balin so much, because she has OCD. And I don't think I have OCD. I have OCD tendencies. But like she has to do things 3 times. And I get that, because if you don't, your brain won't move on. And she's really a bright girl. I mean, you can tell she's intelligent. But occasionally she just has a crazy outburst. And I totally sympathize with her. And I can't decide yet if I want to keep all the shadows on one side or if I want to make some of the blocks look like they're popping up rather than down. Focus, you freak. Okay, that one I'm going to put a different color in, because I already have a pink touch and a pink up there. See, that's my brain. You've already got that. Don't do that again. Why not? What difference would it make? Is it going to make it better? Is it going to make it worse? Does it matter? More importantly. Probably doesn't matter. Not in the least. Because it's going to go in a Scavvy book. It's going to go in the closet when I'm done. Never to be seen until December of next year. Provided I do it again. And right now I'm inclined to do it again. It's pretty painless after I get the list made and send the gift. This looks good even all is just one color too. If you look on Instagram and look up Sendoodle, she's done a bunch of different ones. I couldn't do this all day, every day. It looks like this is kind of the only kind of art she does. I couldn't do that. The squirrels ate my daffodils, yeah. That's what Robert told me. But they had already bloomed and were starting to die back. But because they were dying back and the petals were falling off, Robert thought the squirrels were eating them. Squirrels don't eat daffodils. They do eat nuts, though. Yep, the squirrels are out there eating your flowers. They're not. But the wind blew them over, believe it or not, that we had such high winds. And my daffodil, the green part of them, was so tall that after the wind the last couple of days, it's laying over on their side. So, yeah, they're going to just be ugly all summer, I guess. I don't know. I've said for years I'm going to take them out because after they bloom in the spring, they're just a pain in the ass. But I put them in the first year I lived here, and here we are, what, almost 30 years later, still there. I haven't taken them out yet. Every year I just tell myself we're not going to go do this next year, but then next year I do it again, or I leave them. I haven't separated them in I don't even know how many years. And they say, oh, you've got to dig them up and separate them about every other year. Not in my world. Because I keep thinking, well, if they die, I won't feel bad. The deer don't even eat them. Oop, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to come back in with a different color for those. Oops. All right, let's see if we got the colors pretty well spread out. Keep the weather this side of the pond. We'll try, Dorothy. It's going to get spring. I know I whine about it all the time, but it will. It will, it will. Now I have to decide. All right, I'm going to jump up and turn on the oven real quick. Let it be preheating so I can put the ribs in here in a minute. Okay. Focus, you freak. I think I'll do the shading so I can control it a little bit better with the smaller nib. And I think I am going to make some of them look like they're, gosh, up rather than down. And the way I'll do that is move the shadow to the opposite side of the box. That should work. And I'm not having to be quite so careful because I am going to go back in and thicken those lines and round the corners. You'll be surprised when this is done and I add the highlights, how 3D something this simple can look. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do it on the middle part yet.
Jackie said hi.
Okay, thanks.
My surprise lilies are up in all their green glory. All the green spears will vanish over 5 degrees in June.
Those are crazy, Brenda. I have tiger lilies out in the front, and the deer don't mess with them either. And they've been in there for many, many years as well. And it wasn't that I was a fan or not a fan. I'm not even sure why I got them. I think the first year we were here because the house had been vacant for a year, and so when we actually moved in, it was just so I don't know, just so barren, I guess, that I planted a bunch of things so that the next year it would look like pretty. But they weren't necessarily plants that I loved, I just knew that they were absolutely going to bloom and last for as long as I wanted them. But then I'd feel bad digging them up, and throwing them away if they're still vibrant and willing to work with me, Those I actually might have brought from the house in Boulder. I had big gardens at the house in Boulder before we moved here. And the ones that would spread, I did bring up some starts and move them down here. Most of them didn't do well because the summers here are so dang hot. And at the time, I didn't have a sprinkler system. And you honestly just could not pour enough water on those plants to keep them alive. But I'm wondering if those maybe weren't from the house in Boulder. But yeah, most of the plants didn't make it. My Eshelman ivy didn't make it. Yeah, a lot of things. And that ivy should live anywhere, but yeah, it did not like having no water. And we live on a well, so it's not like you can be pouring water out onto the garden a lot. And it was the second or third year before we knew you could put a pump in the lake and water out of the lake. And then when I figured that out, it was let's go. When I'm drawing this shadow on the wrong side, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm not goofing up. But have faith, there's still time for me to goof up later. I can smell that the oven's heating up. I wonder what I spilled in the oven, because it smells like it's cooking. I think Jamie used the oven last, honestly. Gets quiet in here, huh? I don't think I forgot any. And if it turns out that, you know, the colors I chose for the shadow or whatever did turn out not to be dark enough or whatever, I just go back over them. No big deal. Don't worry about it. So again, keeps popping in my head. Those of you who came in late, Raul has got a diagnosis, and it's pretty devastating. So if you're the praying kind and you came in late, please keep Raul in your prayers. I think if we all pray together, maybe we can make a turnaround for Raul. But yeah, it's incredibly sad. Now this one I'm going to do different. I'm going to go ahead and make it look, since I drew that corner out over that, I'm going to make it look like it's casting a shadow on the stone underneath it. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, oh well. Nobody's paying me to doing this, believe me. Filter should break. Hi, so much. Yeah. What is his diagnosis? His cancer has returned, and I'm not sure what the outlook is long term, but it sounded very scary. Hi, Jeannie. So yeah. Hi, Joe Lou too. So yeah, keep him in your prayers. He's had a rough go of it, that boy. Honestly, so I think anything each of us can do, you know, honestly, it's all we can do. So do what you can, you know. I just happen to believe in the power of prayer, and I think if we all pray together, miracles can happen. So Yeah. And he actually told Dee Dee and told Dee Dee it was okay to talk about it. And then she told me, and I said, well, I'll just go ahead and talk about it on my stream. And I'm sure she'll talk about it again on her stream, because about half the people who go to Dee Dee's come here. So, yeah, I'd like to get the word out. So, yeah, we don't dawdle, you know, some things time are of the essence. So I think the sooner we can help Raul, if we can, and I believe we can, let's do it. Let's get it started. But yeah, I was so sad to hear it. He's been such a good fib. And that's why, you know, Dee Dee and I won't talk much about politics. In fact, I'm probably more inclined than Dee Dee is, but, you know, keep this drama free where we can just all be friends that have a shared common interest. But I do not mind at all if somebody, because I don't see it as a political issue, I don't mind at all if anybody comes into my stream and asks for prayers for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be a health reason, you know. I don't think any of us know what troubles or what burdens other people carry. So, you know, use us as a tool. If you need help, you got to reach out, you know. And I do general prayers for, you know, the fibs in general, but I think it doesn't hurt to ask for specific help either. Hi, Starla. Starla, I can help you with that. We'll get in touch with each other later, okay? Yeah, I was going to send him one as well. And I think Dee Dee also is. So, yeah, anything to lift up his spirits. He's going to have a rough go of it here for a while. So I think we got to be there for him. I'm glad I thought to think of it again, because I know a lot of you weren't here at the beginning when I originally talked about it. And it was still pretty fresh when I talked about it at first, because Dee Dee and I hadn't been off the phone for long. Now, one thing I would say, if you ever tried to recreate this, I used pretty light colors for the colors of the stone, what I'm calling stones, the squares in the background. The darker the color, the more the highlight is going to stand out. So keep that in mind, that if you want it, the highlight to be really the main part, choose darker colors. It should show on this, and I'm going to use Panda Fly. Starla, I couldn't believe that picture that you showed where your Panda Fly pen leaked all over everything, because I have been praising these and saying, go buy them. Yeah. So that's kind of what the stones look like. Now I'm going to have to be careful, because the highlight is going to appear opposite the shadow. But because I did some of the shadows the other way, the highlight's going to be the opposite way. So I probably should go do those first. I'll just pay attention as I'm going. And if I goof up, I'll just go over it with the alcohol marker and move it. That's the beauty of screwing up a lot. You learn how to fix stuff. And I'm going to later, and I'll show you here in a minute, I'm going to curve the corners. But I won't make you endure that because I've already, I think, pushed you to the limits just doing this. Can you see the highlights now? Yeah, they start looking really 3D. And the darker the stone is, the more 3D it's going to look. And I don't know if like you can see how that one looks indented just because I moved the shadow from one edge to the other edge. And when you start getting the highlights on, it's just like, oh my gosh. Okay, got to put the ribs in. Got to take a break real quick here. Oh, I keep kicking that cord. All right, in the oven at 210. Now I'm going to have a yummy, yummy dinner. Thanks, Joe Lou. Did I say that? Oh, you got a new grandbaby last Thursday. How fun is that? Oh, I'd love to hold a little baby, an infant again. Mom can change him, but I'll hold him. Nothing better than a little baby. But I think babies are definitely for young people. Congratulations. That's so fun. Get to buy all baby stuff. I don't know if I should have done that. That's all right. I can cover it up with alcohol ink, but I think I just did that wrong. They have 4 girls. Oh, 4 girls and 1 boy. Good for them. I love big families. I think everybody should have big families. I came from a big family. There were 7 of us. And people just aren't having big families like they used to. And I've read a lot of people now saying, oh, big families, you can't give the kids the attention they need or deserve. You know what my feeling about that is? You do get a lot of attention. It may not be from your mom and dad all the time, but you get a lot of attention from your siblings. You never feel alone. And Robert Vaughn is an only child. And we had to deal with his mother when she was ill and stuff like that. I tell you, there's nothing more valuable than having a sibling when tough times come, like your parents get sick or your spouse or whatever. I'm not kidding you. I would never, ever have an only child. I think siblings they become, your best friends later in life. Now, I hated my brother. I mean, I absolutely hated my brother, and I would have killed him. I've said it many times, and he knows this. I would have gladly killed him when we were children. If I could have gotten away with it, not necessarily children, but when we were teenagers, I would have happily killed him. And if I thought I wouldn't get caught, bam, the boy would be dead. But honest to God, now, when I see what him and I have been through together with parents, our own children, our own spouses, the one person in this world that I truly don't believe I could live without is my brother Don. And he would have been the first person I killed if I was a murderous person. I'm not kidding. I would have happily killed him. So yeah, I think siblings, I kind of wish I'd done the shadow on the pink darker. But anyway, let me show you what I'll go ahead and do. Should I use this one? Yeah, I'll start it with this one. But here at the corners, I'll do kind of like a neurographic thing. And make the stones look like they're rounded. But I'm not going to impose that on you guys so you can kind of see. And I might go back and darken the shading on the pink. I think I'd like it to be different. We'll see though. Who cares? And the reason I waited to do the lettering until very last there, can you see that, how that's going to work now? And I'll probably redraw the lines freehanded like that so you can kind of see how it looks like tiles put into a frame or something. And I said, I'm not going to impose this on you guys, but I want you to see how it'll end up looking when it's all done. So that's probably what I'll do this evening. Your brother is 96. He's still alive, Dorothy. You can impose. Aw, Keeks. Hugs on you. Hi, Jen Wren. Hey, Ruth Edwards. You have some longevity genes, Dorothy. Your entire family has longevity genes. My brother is 4 years younger than me. And I've already lost 3 of my siblings. So, yeah. The oldest, the middle, and the youngest have all passed. And losing a sibling is as hard as losing anybody else. But if I lost Don, he was in the hospital around Christmas time. When they called to tell me, I was a wreck. And I was like, don't let them hurt him. You know, like, oh, I was a wreck. Turns out he's okay. Can you see the kind of pattern now? How this rock looks like it's indented. This rock looks indented. And it probably would have been more dramatic if I would have, where did I do that one? Darker. Yeah. All right. I'm going to try something, you guys. Let me look at my little Cali art thing here. My dark color was 403. Let me see what I've got. R403. Where is that? Okay, that one. Ooh, I don't have really much of it. Okay, let me try this one. They're different colors, aren't they, Ruth? Let me look if I have. That one's pretty dark. Yikes, that one's very dark. Let's see, R605. Okay, that one might be better. All right, we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to do it down here at the bottom. Nah, we'll do it up here at the top. Why not? If we're going to wreck it, let's wreck it right in front of your face. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it with a darker shadow because that pink shadow just doesn't show up for me. It's there. It's just not showing up. Yeah, I like it with the darker shadow. Okay, I'll do that later. All right, let's go ahead and now I can draw my lines back. I'll do the lettering so you guys can see the end. What color should I do the lettering? Should I just do it in black? All right, now I've lost some of them, so let me see. Should be 3/4. All right, and I'll just do it that way. Black? Okay, good. I like that idea because I'll do it with a pen that doesn't run on this crap paper that I chose. I don't know why I chose it, but I didn't. It was just laying here. Now what do I do with my lettering stencil? I lose everything. I've lost all the others, though. There were 5 of us children. You're lucky to still have him, Dorothy, so yeah. And the other 2 siblings of mine, they're both older than me. But both doing really well, so yeah. All right, let me do the center. So, and I did do a sample so I could measure it. All right, let me look for just a quick second. It should be around here. I hope I didn't throw it away. That sounds like something I would do, though. Now I've got Linda Berry books here that I didn't expect. Did I really lose that? That was so annoying. No. Oops, dropping stuff. Glad it's not the computer this time. Hang on, I'm measuring this so I know where to start the letters. Would be help if I did it in. No, it would be less. Right? No. Yeah, less. All right. Nope, that's the wrong one. That was about a big old fat boy screw up right there.
I'm looking forward and snarky and tests.
It's not all that snarky. It is funny to me, and it's one of my very favorites of all times. And it was one of my husband's favorites too, so it's probably why I keep it in my head all the time. Let's see, it's 2, 4, 5. And that's about 2 1/4. That's close enough. Close enough. All right, let's get this thing done. We've got time. And I'll read you the whole thing when I'm. Let me see. I might use this just because it stays wet longer is the only thing, and which means I stand the chance of smearage, and I don't really want smearage, if you know what I mean. We'll try it. And I don't know why the F on this is so much bigger than the capital I. But it is, so we'll go with it. You know what? Maybe I'll get out one of the microns. They won't be so wet. But still have a good sized nib. I think I'll do that. There's no point in looking for trouble, you know? Trouble tends to find me. Yeah, see, it's just not as crisp as I would like. Let me just get out one of my dress-up pens. I call the Copic multiliners my dress-up pens. Let's try it with a 0.3 to start with. That should work. Hey, Judio. That can't be right. Let me double check this measurement. That doesn't look right to me. Yeah, that's right. All right, we're going with it, even though I'm not feeling comfortable about it. Okay, now if I goof up at this point, the way I would save it is I would just cut another sheet of paper that size and start from scratch. Yeah, this is better. not as juicy. Yeah, much crisper. And I do love these new stencils that I bought. I've used them a few times now, and I love them. And I don't remember how much I paid for them, but however much I paid for them, they were worth it. They're well made. Yeah, just not a downside over here. And you guys can be guessing in chat what the quote might be. Maybe none of you have ever heard it. I'd be surprised if you hadn't, but yeah, we'll see if anybody can figure it out before I actually finish it. Oh, I know why. Never mind. I know why I was thinking the measurement was messed up. If you build it, they will come. That's a good one, but that's not it. This is my free advice. And if you get the quote, you have to tell me whose quote it is. You don't just get to go around guessing and get it right. And I'll connect the letters at the very end. You know. But these are cut, this stencil is cut really well, so that if some of them are cut so poorly that you can't trust that the bottom of the letter is straight, you know, because I use the whole line of letters to decide whether or not it's straight or not. Some of them are so bad you can't do that. These, I think, are really, why did I just do that? Why did I just do that? Oh my God. Now I'm going to have to cut a piece. I will, though. I'll cut a whole piece. Why did I just put that Z there? I was wanting to do this Y. That's what I get for talking when I'm doing something. Ah. All right, watch. I'll have to fix this. Good thing it's not a gift or something. It's just going in the Scavvy. Trying to think the best way I want to do that. So you won't be able to see the patch. What a dumbass. Where's the lid? Do I have another piece of this paper right here? I might. Nope, but I have one that's close enough. Need the light green. Just put a little Band-Aid on it. That's it. I'm going to quit talking when I'm streaming because apparently my brain can't do both. Yep, it'll work. Let's get that a little darker there. How did I know that was going to happen? I already had a plan, already in my head.
Pop-ups.
Well, Ruth, actually, what you're saying there is absolutely true, but that's not what I'm writing here. You can tell I am the queen of fix-ups. You'll be able to see it probably. We're not going to worry about it. That's what we're not going to do. I don't have time to redo this whole box. If it bothers me, I'll redo that whole box in the morning. Because that's what I do. Dork. All right, let's see. I need a space. Leave a little bit more space. Yeah, you can't hardly tell that. It's all right. All right. The quote is really quite goofy in my mind, but I like it because it makes me laugh. Now I'm concentrating. Don't talk to me. Laverne got it. Okay, Laverne. Whose quote is it? And do you know the whole poem that it's from? I'll read you the part of the poem that has this in it. This actually is quite famous. It's really not that obscure. Ogden Nash, there you go, Laverne. Laverne, you and I would so get along in real life because I'd go around saying stuff like that and you would totally get it. Obscure stuff like that. I don't know why. Well, my husband was the same way. But yeah, I love obscure stuff like that. I like a lot of Ogden Nash quotes. There's one about being a sloth. And I don't have it memorized. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, he has some Very unique sayings, but he was a great thinker. Won't take me much longer. Freezing my butt off today, and by the end of the week, it's supposed to be like 90 degrees, 85 or something like that. This is schizophrenic weather. Okay, Brenda's got it in there. You've never heard of, have you ever heard of Ogden Nash? A panther is like a leopard, except it hasn't been peppered. Should you behold a panther crouch, prepare to say ouch. Better yet, if called by a panther, don't answer. There's a whole poem. That's just one stanza of the poem. But typically you always just hear the if called by a panther, don't answer portion of the poem. I didn't even know if you guys knew that there was an entire poem by Ogden Nash. And I don't think it has anything to do with cultured or not cultured, Bossy. I think it, yeah, you've either read Ogden Nash, heard of Ogden Nash, or you haven't. And it is probably pretty obscure, to be honest. But it has nothing to do with whether or not you're cultured. Now, if you don't know how to use a napkin, you are seriously uncultured, girl. But yeah, the fact that you've never heard some obscure poem, a line out of a poem, I don't think that's indicative of how big a dumbass you are. But if there's any doubt in your mind, stay around long enough and I'll probably call you a dumbass. Terms of endearment in my world. Spread the love evenly. Probably I should have done a piece of art that had a panther on it, huh? But yeah. Not me. I do what I want. Okay, I will use a napkin with my baked potato. I like a flea and a fly in the flu. Yep. I think it's just an odd sense of humor, probably more than anything. And my chemistry partner, I don't know, probably I was first year, maybe second year chemistry. And, well, one, I think the guy was a speed freak, but that's beside the point. He had so much obscure knowledge like that he probably is the one who actually turned me on to this, you know, kind of obscure, funny poetry or sayings or stuff like that. And his dad was weirder than he was, but that's beside the point too. And then I met my husband and he totally got it. He was as bad as Warren. So it was like, gotta marry this dork. Now, if I said something like this to Robert or said Ogden Nash to Robert, he'd say, if he didn't design an engine, I'm not interested. Just difference in people. But that's why I hang out with you guys. Because Laverne knew this. She noted. What's the slothsome one? And something is irksome. But he had a way with words that was just so unique and quite funny and satirical. I don't know. I would typically get a chuckle out of it. And it's endured through the ages, you know? Devin is a glutton. Why? Because she's going to use a napkin? Or because she's sitting there eating in front of us? She might not have even gone and gotten her baked potato yet. She has to go all the way to Wendy's. And I have no clue how far Wendy's is from where she lives. Could be just down the block. All right, looks like I'm going to get this done just right about on time. Yeah, I'm glad I chose this pen. Made the edges really nice and crisp. And it's one thing about the Micron or the Copic inks is they are black. Like, and if you're going to go to the trouble, you might as well have a nice black that there's no doubt. And I know a wider nib might have colored it in a little bit faster, but it wouldn't make the edge as crisp as a little bit smaller nib. So that's why I did the one I did. And I have used the Languel pens with these stencils, and they work pretty good, but it helps if you put tape underneath the stencil to lift it up just slightly, so your ink doesn't smudge underneath it. So it's called by a panther, don't answer. And some of you are sitting there going, I don't get it. See how nice your lettering can look? That's why I love lettering stencils. Looks like it printed right off a... Oh, you already went. Oink, oink. Dorothy was right. Yeah, don't struggle. Buy yourself a nice stencil set. It's worth a little bit of time and effort. And I can't remember, it's been a long time ago when I was using a lettering stencil on stream. And I always go back at the end and fill in the blanks, where they have to cut out so the letters stay together. And she said, I didn't know you were supposed to do that. I was like, what? Like, why wouldn't you go back and make it a complete letter? So I probably will I'll finish doing the rounded corners like that, finish it off, and then I'll probably put it on a black, create a black frame for it. And then I will post it to Instagram. Oh, and you know what? I didn't show you the other thing that I finished. I showed it on Friday, so the people who were here on Friday saw it. But let me show you this one that I went ahead and finished. Because I didn't do what Dee Dee said. I did what I wanted. What I always do. I did what I wanted. This is the piece of art that I started a couple weeks ago, I think. And then Jill was here, so I didn't show it then. Well, I don't think I had it done. So this was the background that Belinda sent me. The random background, she just sent me some stuff. And so I did part of this on stream, and then I didn't finish it. So I said, I'll go back and finish it later. And Dee Dee told me to do the in-between spaces in the gold. And I thought, oh, I don't know if I'll like that with all the gold. So I went ahead and did it what I originally anticipated, and then just went ahead and added the quote. So this isn't for the Scavvy, though. It's the wrong size for the Scavvy. And my tape isn't sticking. But yeah, I did go ahead and finish that. So I like the way it turned out. Yeah, I do too, Laverne. I like that quote a lot. If gratitude turns what we have into enough, and it's so true. If you're just grateful for what you have, somehow that's enough, So, yep, got that one done. I'll get this one done. And I seem to be kind of doing a pattern, huh? But anyway, yeah, I will go ahead and get a border on this one so it looks finished, and finish putting the corners in. I'm going to darken all the pink, I think. The shadows on the pink ones, I don't think they're dark enough. And I might darken the gray ones as well. We'll just see how it pops out when it's done. You like it, Belinda? Thanks for the original art to work on. I'm sorry it took me so long to actually get off my butt and get it done. You're 82% done. Come on, Christina. You can do it. You can do it, girl. Come on. The Pink Panther. That's probably what I should do, is do a cutout of a Pink Panther down here. I might do that, Devin. I have a Pink Panther around here somewhere. Yep, I might just, and because it would also be another cartoon character. All right, I'm going to write myself a note, Miss Bossy Butt. Well, I might just have to put a Pink Panther on there. Because why not? Pink Panther on the phone, right? Okay. Devin, we are a badass team, girl. All right. You guys, one more time, I'll remind you, pray for Raul. Go out in the world. Try not to worry too much. Be kind. And be grateful. There you go. Be grateful. All right. I'm going on about my regular life. Love you guys. And thank you. Thank you so much. I know your time's valuable. So thanks for hanging with me, dudes. All right. Love you. Bye.